Hi, I'm Open Air Specialist Jackson Crawford, and I have the extraordinary privilege of being here at the, what do we call it? The archives of the National Museum of Iceland, Þjóðminjasafn Íslands, together with Ármann Guðmundsson, research archaeologist here.
Thank you.
We are going to look at a couple of items from the early settlement age of Iceland, exactly the period talked about in the sagas that we so often discuss and read. So what do you have for us?
When I got your email, I started thinking, okay, you want to see something, quite normal, or what gives a really good picture of a normal life of the first settlers here in Iceland. And at the top of my head, I thought, of course, we have to talk about these kind of artifacts, and I really like kind of artifacts that people can see. Okay, this is just a stone, dull, boring stone with hole in it. But without this technology, without this stone, we would not be here today in Iceland, because this is a spindle wheel used for spinning wool or making thread. Vital to producing sail, for example, and with the sails we could cross over the Atlantic Ocean and reach Iceland. So without this artifact, as I said, we would not be here, and we would definitely not been taking a look at more of the finer weapons, for example.
Sure.
And this is, excellent example, I think, of an artifact that is, doesn't tell that much at first glance, but once you dig a little deeper, it's vast. It's, so important, and I really like this kind of artifacts, and what archaeology can actually, provide with studying artifacts like this.
Mm-hmm. And what is the context in which this one was found?
This was found in 1974 in the Vestmanna Island, and are found in the settlement layer, or in a cultural layer dated to roughly 900 AD. But there's been some discussion about the dating of that site, but if you just look at the artifact itself, hopefully you can see it. It's made out of soapstone, and the soapstone was in a common stone type used in spindle world for a special time period, up until it's a little bit tricky, but up until 10th, 11th century, we see them a little bit decline. So this is really a typical Viking Age artifact. Mm-hmm. So even though we can speculate about the context of its finding, we know what it is actually. Mm-hmm. And we know of the material, and we can say for quite certainty that this is a spindle word from this period. But it gets even trickier, because the spindle world in its form has not changed that dramatically over hundreds of years, even thousands. It stood the test of time, and that's one of the things that actually make this one of my favorites artifact types. Actually, it's in a sense a peak of our technological innovation, you can say. Mm-hmm. And people would say, "Are you crazy?" I would say a little bit, but of course, but without, as I said, without this artifact, I would not be here, and this would not made, the settlement of Iceland would not have been made possible, and crossing to America, for example, So really interesting artifact.
Mm-hmm. And are they commonly found in just about any kind of settlement site?
Yeah, really common item.
So is it something like a trace fossil in paleontology? Would you say something like a footprint of a dinosaur rather than the bone of a dinosaur that says people were here, they were living, they were making the things they needed to survive, and of course as it changes over time you can follow technological change, perhaps social change, perhaps changes in trading patterns as the stone comes from a different place, that kind of thing. This artifact again is a good example of that, because it's not Icelandic in origin. The soapstone are commonly found in Greenland and in Norway. We do have some variation of it here in Iceland, but not in that good quality that it could be used. At least that's our knowledge today. Right. But then again, this artifact then gives us insight into a network and trade and stuff like that. So. I have actually chosen 3 spindle worlds. I noticed.
But then again, I chose another artifact from the same site, and this tells a really interesting story. People will just say, "Okay, Ármann, another stone with hole in it. Get a grip, get a life or something." But I find this artifact really interesting, and it gives a really good insight into the mindset and the society of the first settlers. Again, this is soapstone, and this has been a part of a soapstone pot for storing or cooking food. But there's a hole in it. Sometimes when these pots cracked due to the extreme heat, people try to repair them, because this material was so scarce here in Iceland. And then they tried to make this little holes to them, and put a copper in between, to hold it together with another piece.
I see.
That could be what happened to this artifact, that the pot actually cracked and it was reused as repaired. But it could be something completely different. It could be and really an extremely important artifact for that time period. It could also be a whetstone, a kljásteinn, for having a weight on the thread when you're weaving. Extremely important. Without those, without weaving no clothes and making thread, as I said with the spindle world, so important work. We have, this island would not have been, settled, or at least settled maybe a little later. I don't know about that, but these artifacts played imperative role in the settlement of Iceland. So when you ask me, could you find some artifacts to give you a little bit insight, this was my first idea.
I like your thought, yeah. Well, like I said, it's a trace fossil. It's a piece of someone's life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I could actually go on and on and on. So, normally when I prepare something like this, and when I bring forward this kind of artifacts, okay, come on, Ármann, where are the swords? Show us something, flashy, something, cool stuff. Where are the gold? Where are the silver? Where are the coins? Come on, where are the helmets? Right. Where are the horns and everything? And
I say,
Yeah. So come on, we were special people. Show us something special. Majority of the people were just normal people. Mm. They were just minding their own business, making cloths, tend to their animal, crops and farms. That's majority of the people were just thinking about that. Mm. So if you want to know about the normal stuff, what actually shaped the society, you have to think about the normal artifacts and stuff.
Sure, of course.
So that's my actually philosophy.
I like it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Well, pleasure to meet you. And from beautiful Hafnarfjörður, we're wishing you all the best.